My grandfather served in the Pacific and in Europe during World War II. It struck me the other day, thinking about the 75th anniversary, that in 1942, he was reading Stars and Stripes in Europe. Thinking now that I'm here at Stars and Stripes, and 75 years ago, he was reading a copy of our newspaper to find out about what's going on back at home. It was pretty cool.
Stars and Stripes has continuously produced editorially independent news to the U.S. military since 1942. The newspaper began in Britain during the height of World War II. It would advance alongside Allied forces as they fought against the Axis powers in Europe and North Africa. During the war, Stars and Stripes had more than 30 different editions, including ones in Casablanca, Italy, and France. Over the organization's 75-year period, Stars and Stripes in Europe has been at the forefront of American military news. Stripes reporters have covered the defeat of the Nazis, the start of the Cold War, the rise and the fall of the Berlin Wall, the expansion of NATO, and the peacekeeping efforts in the Balkans. They have embedded with American military forces in the Middle East, where they've covered Operations Desert Shield and Desert Storm. They did so again to cover Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. Stars and Stripes retains a crew of downrange reporters who continue to cover the ongoing conflicts in Afghanistan and Iraq.
When a service member deploys overseas, he or she does not give up their rights and obligations as American citizens to be informed about what's going on in their country, to make sound choices either at the ballot box or expressing themselves, and therefore they need an independent source of news and information about what's going on at home as well as what's going on in the areas where they serve.
To provide that coverage, Stripes has a robust circulation process that involves sending publications via satellites to remote print sites around the world. Often they have to come up with creative means to deliver the newspaper to some of the most remote locations across the globe. Stripes has printed as many as 80,000 papers a day, 7 days a week. On any given day, they continue to engage a readership of more than 1 million.
I think the biggest feat of Stars and Stripes, apart from reporters across the globe, is our distribution, which is an amazing accomplishment in and of itself. Since World War II, basically, we use, if there's a train, plane, automobile, or donkey that we can borrow, then we will get it to get the paper to the troops.
It's the idea of Stars and Stripes that was meaningful to me. It's why I looked for a job with Stars and Stripes, because it's got all that history, and my dad read it when he was in the Army. I know so many other people who read it when they were in Iraq and Afghanistan, guys I served with, guys I met after the service, and so it's really meaningful to me to be a part of something with that legacy, and that's impacted that many people's lives in those situations where they're far from home and sort of disconnected in other ways from the world outside.
As the world continues to evolve, Stripes too has had to change in order to meet the challenges of a rapidly changing media landscape. By utilizing digital and social media platforms, Stripes continues serving the military community at home and wherever else soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen may be found.
That has changed the way we do things. In print, you would go out, do your story, come home, turn the photos in the editor, and the next day it would be in the paper. Today, you have to keep on going. Sometimes if it's a breaking news story, you might be filing 2 or 3 or 4 photos or hours apart. The print days after the paper went to press, that was it. You were done. I mean, you might still have to go out and keep on taking photos, but you weren't going to have them in the paper. Of course, downrange, where the soldiers and the service members don't have internet in places and they do get the paper, it makes it just as important to make sure you got the story well, because that's all they're going to have to read.
Even with all the changes encompassing Stripes and the community it has served for more than 7 decades, one constant remains true.
Going forward, I believe Stars and Stripes' mission will be what Stars and Stripes' mission has always been, to be an independent source of news and information, and to tell the story of the American service member serving his or her country overseas.